Once a year, our family would have a little reunion at my grandma's house. My dad, my 3 uncles, and my cousins are always present there. My mother would always refuse on going to grandma's. I never knew why. Even with this, Dad still persuaded her to go. We arrived at grandma's house. I was 9 back then, so my cousins rushed out to greet me and dragged me inside to play hide and seek. My father would greet my uncles and offer each other a drink, and all of them would set a table in my grandma's backyard. My grandma's backyard isn't actually normal. She likes gardening, so much that it seems like she has a forest out there. Grandma told us that her backyard is inhabited by the outsiders. They're like fairies, but she didn't describe those butterfly-looking, sparkly, sweet ones. She told us that the outsiders are dark, human-like entities that inhabit trees. That's why she takes care of them so much. It's the least she could do for making her plants safe. Of course, we didn't believe it at first, but to think that there are such things living in Grandma's thick backyard creeps me out. I would avoid looking at those trees. I would never want to see, if there is such a thing, I wouldn't want to see black, shadow-like figures coming out of nowhere. I would freak out. That same evening, me and my cousins went up to our room and bounced on the bed as we hit each other's faces with soft pillows. We were like crazy teenage girls, screaming, giggling, and running around on their first sleepover. Of course, there will always be that one time, the annual storytelling between us cousins. We'd be giggling of laughter, throwing biscuits that our moms would bring into the room. Then all of a sudden we stopped. You know, that time when everybody decides to shut up all at the same time. The only thing that was making noise was the air conditioner. The loud ambiance filled the room with sudden chills for no apparent reason. Suddenly, one of my cousins closed the curtains of the bedroom window. We asked why, and all she gave to us is a smile, but I know why. "Are you worried about what Grandma told us?" I asked. All eyes on her. I wouldn't blame her. The window gave a complete overview of Grandma's forest-like garden, especially at 9 in the evening. There are no lights or anything in the backyard, except for those near my dad and uncles. After a while, my mom entered the room to tell us that it's time for us to go to sleep, and all of us tucked our heads under our blankets as the lights went out. I can hear my father and my uncles drunk singing out the window, but that wasn't the reason I couldn't sleep. It was because of the fear that I would see something out the window. I keep looking, though afraid. I can't take my eyes off it. I was thinking that if something did enter through the window, I would be the first one to run out of the room. Everyone is out cold, snoring. I tried to adjust my eyes in the dark and see what time it is. 11 p.m. I got down the stairs and grabbed a glass of milk in the kitchen. In the kitchen was the door leading to Grandma's backyard. It was wide open. So I ran to the living room and found my uncles out cold and drunk. My grandma is there at the couch watching TV. She asked why I was still up, and I told her that I came to grab a glass of milk. I noticed that my dad was gone. Grandma told me that she had asked him to go to get coffee at the nearest store. She got up and closed the kitchen door leading to the backyard. She climbed upstairs, leaving me with, "Make sure to put the glass on the sink when you're done." I asked her, "Aren't you going to wait for Dad?" She told me that Dad has all the keys in the house, that he could get in. As I turned off the TV and closed all the lights, Dad was banging on the front door and pressing on the doorbell countless of times. I opened the door and asked why he didn't use the keys. He told me that he has no keys with him, and that he must have dropped them in the yard. Dad placed the coffee at the cupboard and went upstairs. Finally, I get to go upstairs, but in the middle of the staircase, I heard a sound, like someone was trying to open the door. I could hear the keys clanging at one another. I looked at the kitchen door, and the doorknob was moving. I quickly climbed up to the room and locked the door. I tucked myself tight and shut my eyes. I have goosebumps all over my body. Even lying still on the bed, My heart keeps pounding. The next day, I saw Mom preparing breakfast and Grandma arranging the plates. I checked the kitchen door and saw that it was slightly opened and the keys were dangling from the doorknob. My grandma saw the fear in my eyes. She went up to me and whispered, "Don't worry, they were just playing around, that's all." Ever since then, I never went near the kitchen door, nor did I look out the windows to check the garden out. That made me believe in the supernatural and things, that we're not the only ones walking on land. I thought that it was all over, until the second night. I and my cousins were tucked down on our last sleep at Grandma's house. They all slept like calm babies, while I was still awake. I can't erase the thought of what happened the other night. Then suddenly, the bedroom door opened. I jumped out of bed and closed and locked it immediately. I was expecting my mom, dad, or anybody to scream from the other side, scolding me on why I shut the door in their face. But nothing. It was pure silence. I was waiting for anyone to ask me to open up the door. Maybe they would just check on us, see if we were asleep. But no, it was dead silence. And all I can hear at that moment were the keys. I heard one inserted into the doorknob. I backed away from the door and jumped in bed, hiding in my blankets. I heard the lock open, and the door's creaking sound. Footsteps were getting louder. I was still hoping it's Mom, hoping it's Dad, hoping for a person. Then that thing, it laughed. Its laughter was very uncomfortable. It was eerie and low. It was laughing beside me. I closed my eyes and screamed at the top of my lungs. I cried out for Mom and tried to wake up my cousins in the process. The lights went on and I heard my mom asking us, "What's wrong?" I removed my blankets and saw my cousins stretching at their beds, looking at me while rubbing their sleepy eyes. Of course, like any typical scenario like this, they passed it off as a bad dream or something. As my mom left out the room, and we were all tucked into bed again, I saw the keys beside me. I looked through the window and saw it. It had big, beady cat eyes and a large mouth. In fact, it looked like the cat from Alice in Wonderland. It was smiling at me. My whole body froze. I hid again in my blankets, crying this time. I cried myself to sleep. I was so afraid. It was till I was 12 that I realized that whatever that thing was, it wasn't trying to hurt me. Maybe it was returning the keys. Its face keeps flashing at my dreams, or when it's dark. I keep forcing myself to think that maybe it was friendly, but I will never know. Maybe it really tried to kill me, and was smiling because I got away.